Do, 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 do. Nice. Not like that. Okay. Um, there we go. But I need to put let me see. No, not this. Nope. This. This. Here. No, wrong page. Mm. There we go. Now, is it good? Can people hear this? Oh. Yeah, they can hear that. How do I lower that? There we go. Let's see if that works. No, it does. Nice. Alright, let's do this. I guess start. The sound of our steps, combined with that of the occasional nocturnal animal, is the only thing we can hear. It's terribly dark in this place. The dense vegetation makes it impossible to see the sky or light from the moon. Our flashlights are the only things that light up our way. At times like this, one begs to not run out of battery. We walk without knowing what we're really looking for, or better said, for no reason. We are just a group of boys bored with our lives, trying to create a lasting memory on this night instead of just staying home doing nothing. Today is October 31st, All Hallows Eve, better known as Halloween. Three young men walked through a dark, but up until now, nothing special forest, me being one of them. We are doing it to prove our courage. It's too bad there isn't a girl here to see how brave we are. Seeing it like that, one could say this is a meaningless effort. For a moment, I stopped to look at my watch. It's 1:49 a.m. That means we have been walking aimlessly for more than 2 hours now. I am sure that many people will find a place like this terrifying, but once you get used to it, the fear disappears, making it feel like normal. What makes us afraid of the dark is that we cannot know what hides in it, what lurks in the shadows. But this is clearly an empty darkness. At that moment I sigh, feeling how tired my legs are. What is the point of being here? Clearly, we had already demonstrated what we wanted. It would be best to return, I should tell them. I was about to speak when suddenly the atmosphere in the forest becomes strange. Suddenly, a cold chill runs through my body. It was like any other chill, except it was not going away. For no reason, the air's temperature dropped for 1 second to the other. So much so, my breath becomes visible, turning into mist. It doesn't end there. The air is now filled with a rotten smell. It's just a little short from being unbearable. Images of worms and flies soon appear in my mind, giving me a really unpleasant feeling. We all stop at that moment. What's happening? I asked, confused while turning to look at my friends. By the expression on their faces, it was easy to know that they were just as lost as I was. It was then that we heard footsteps nearby that did not come from any of us. We all got dead quiet after that. I don't know if it was out of fear or to check if it was not a mistake, but we stayed motionless like statues without making a noise, just looking at each other's faces, wondering the same thing. What was happening? As if I could know. We heard the steps again. They clearly belonged to a human, or at least to a large animal, but there's something strange about them. It sounds as if the person walking dragging one foot. Just thinking about it made me shiver. Damn, why is this happening? It makes no sense. We should have returned home before, but now it's too late to regret it. I have the feeling that we're being stalked by someone. The strange footsteps stop, but I'm still feeling the presence nearby. I don't know where it is, but I know it's not looking at me. That cursed thing is looking at me. My heart is beating anxiously. It's almost as if my body was telling me to get out of there, but strangely my friends seem unable to perceive it. It seems that it's gone. It must have been just an animal, said one of them, convinced that we were safe. I would like to believe that too. We had a sign of relief. Our bad luck would soon strike us again. Unexpectedly, the forest becomes darker than before in just a blink of an eye. But that wasn't the fault of the forest, but of our flashlights which went out. Of the three, only one, mine, was still working. What's going on? Did the batteries die? Asked one of them, scared, while they both beat them desperately, as if that was going to revive them. I can't blame them. The idea of walking in the darkness was not pleasant for anyone, but after a few moments we had no choice but to resign ourselves to that. Once more, the sound of our footsteps is heard, but the silence is different now. We are not quiet because you have nothing to say, but because you are afraid. We continue walking despite the fear that invades us. Visibility is almost zero, but we have no choice. In theory, we were walking back looking for the exit, but I cannot remember anything of this forest. We could be walking in circles, and I would never notice it until it's too late. I hate the thought of it. I just want to get out of here. Suddenly, my thoughts are silenced. We hear the footsteps of someone or something. Once more, the three of us become statues awaiting the presence to go. I hold my breath while feeling my heart beating anxiously. Damn. Get away from here and leave us alone. Unexpectedly, the steps are heard closer. This time they did not disappear, but rather come at us. I can't stand it. Desperately, I move my flashlight anywhere looking for the author of those footsteps, hoping for the light to reveal their identity and erase our fears. Nothing. 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 Is that all there is around here? Just empty air? My anxiety grows with each failed attempt. I refuse to believe that it was a ghost. Suddenly, when I move the flashlight again, I see a silhouette. I could not distinguish what it was, but for a moment the light revealed something. Quickly, I point to the same place, only to discover it was gone. I hold my breath anxiously. It was not an illusion. I am sure that I saw something. It was then that I hear something nearby. Without even thinking, I am the light towards that place. What I found leaves us paralyzed, with an expression of disbelief on our faces. It's a white cat, with eyes of an intense red, which stands before us. Her hair is not the friendliest to say something. Somehow, I get the feeling it's a female cat. Suddenly, she lets out a thunderous meow that leaves us terrified. It sounded more like a lion roaring than a simple cat. The echo of her meow was heard throughout the forest, making it sound more sinister than it should be. It was then that suddenly an inexplicable force hits us three. I fall to the ground little by little. My eyelids close. The fatigue becomes unbearable. I fall to the ground, and little by little, I lose consciousness on the ground of the forest without knowing what was going to happen with me. Now, this is a free game I found on Steam. Okay, I think I'm gonna do a quick save, and then let me do something. Oh no, wrong. Live. I want to see if this is being heard. Hold on, hold on. Let's see. Let me go to no setup. There we go. Let me. Ah, there we go. Put all this down. Can you hear that? I wonder. Just checking. Yeah, I have something going on in the background, but I don't think you guys can hear it. Because I'm not hearing it. Let me just check. This is just a test stream anyway. Let's see. Go here, here. Yeah, I'm not hearing it. I'm not hearing it. Alright, I think it's good. I think it's good. Alright, let's get on with the game. Back. Oh, set up. There we go. Interlude before night falls. And is it a day like any other, so normal that it was almost painful? The only special thing that could be said about it is that it is October 31st. far were the memories from when I was a kid and went out with my friends to ask for sweets from house to house. Just remembering it made me sigh. I feel nostalgic. Some things were better when I was a child, or at least seems like that. There were some who had good costumes, whether of superheroes or monsters. My friends and I, on the other hand, had to use our imagination. Creativity was our costume, you could say, no matter how funny it could sound. I remember that my mother once painted red my face and told me, "You will be the devil." But it seems only she saw it that way. When we went from home to home, everyone said I was Tomato Man. But those things didn't matter to me, since we always had a good time. If I asked for candy now, even if I had the best costume, I'm sure no one would give me anything. Except perhaps a scolding for acting like a child when I am 17 years old. But anyway, I can't stay in the past. I must live in the present, no matter how little exciting that might be. Back to reality. We have a group of friends who don't have any plans for today. We are still not old enough to go to a disco. What? Disco? And I doubt guys as us would have any luck in that environment. The other option would be to go to a party and meet girls and have fun. Everything perfect except that nobody has invited us. Not being popular has its disadvantages. I can feel that. Hey Axel, let's have a couple of matches. What do you say? My friend Steven called my attention while playing within the game console. Rush Red. I believe that's what the game is called. A fast and quite compelling fighting game for me. I would normally agree to play with him, but for some reason, I don't feel in the mood today. I have no desire to play right now. Who says that? I have no desire to play now. I replied with discouragement. I almost feel bad for doing it. Boring. The AI is no rival for me, Steven said with confidence. That you're playing on a normal difficulty does not help your argument. I don't feel like losing, but if you want, you can challenge to Alfred. I said, leading the attention to my other friend. I don't know how to play that, answered Alfred, doubting for a second. He's sitting behind the PC, but it seems that he isn't doing anything interesting. The screen only shows a lot of text. I think he is in Wikipedia. Hey, don't you have something more fun to do? I asked with discouragement, without even thinking about what he was reading. Alfred looks at me surprised. The actual problem of society is that people are not interested in discovering their history. He is one of those pseudo-intellectuals, always looking for any rare information to appear smarter than others. When we forget our past mistakes, we are doomed to repeat them. Yeah, okay. He added later. What are you talking about? This village is small, and the story is not interesting at all. Nothing outside of the normal has ever happened in it. Alfred laughs mockingly after hearing that. Your ignorance is worthy of praise. What is Alfred here? He pauses, filling his chest with pride. The very fact it is a small town is the reason it's full of mysteries. Did you know that 20 years ago, on this date, a man disappeared? So, what about it? I asked, without being impressed or even interested in the least. Things like that happen all the time in all places. As I thought, you don't know the history despite living in this very place. Alfred said while adjusting his glasses in an arrogant gesture. There is a legend behind the disappearance. That is what I was reading. After listening to him, I looked back at the computer screen with curiosity. It's then that I noticed that it was not Wikipedia, but some other page. Come on, read this, and learn a little. Alfred said, inviting us to read what was on the screen. Both Stephen and I moved closer to read it. I wonder what it is. The town of Abingdon, Oxfordshire County, 1994. What? Bigdon, Oxfordshire. I came to this town with only 4,000 inhabitants to support them in an investigation. Truth is that never in my life have I ever seen something this strange. I won't say your typical detective-ish nonsense that I have seen thousands of strange things in my life. I have seen many crimes, yes. Some difficult to solve, but all of them were human. Even if you don't know how they managed to perpetrate the crime, you know that they are people like anyone else. In this case, I don't think I'm able to say the same thing. Truth is that I can't understand what happened. I was called for the disappearance of a man named Matthew Graham, 23 years, single. The last time he was seen was returning from a Halloween party. He had drank alcohol but was still sober. At least that's what witnesses said. Anyway, this is not something which can be explained with a simple drunkenness. He had apparently gone lost on the way home and decided to enter the forest called Oakwood. It rained yesterday, so the ground was wet and muddy. We could easily find his traces, which were leading deep inside the forest. Apparently, he walked for 3 hours before stopping. I say stop, but the truth is, we don't know what happened then. The track suddenly ended up in a clearing in the forest, and that's all. There was no evidence of struggle, no other trace or pieces of clothing on the ground. There was no blood, no more footprints, anything else. The depths of his last footprints and the position they were in indicated that he was still walking. At no point he stood still. It was as if he had vaporized in the air, with all his clothes in the middle of his walk. Obviously, I can't believe such a thing, but I can't give another explanation. The only thing I remember is that near the footprints I sensed a faint smell of rot. However, there were no animal corpses nearby. It is ridiculous to think he suddenly started to decay and became earth. In the end, the case was closed in just 3 days. With no evidence of any kind, we couldn't say anything but that he decided to escape from the village. However, while officially there was no more to do, I couldn't sleep in peace. Thinking about what could have happened to him took away my sleep. In my mind, I thought all sorts of theories, like maybe everything was planned developed by Matthew, but in the end, they all seemed impossible. I decided to investigate more on the issue. I searched the town for more similar stories, and to my surprise, I found 4 more. All young men. The story was always the same. He walked into the forest alone, disappearing without a trace. Even more curious is that all of them disappeared on the same date, October 31st. But there is more. A detail that completely eliminates the possibility that there is a killer or kidnapper behind this. And that is the separation of the years. Roger Bacon disappeared in 1924. Michael Smith disappeared in 1867. Jason Black disappeared in 1813. And the worst of all, Oswald Tyler disappeared in 1707. It simply couldn't be possible. My curiosity led me to dig deeper. I thought that the answer might be in the past of the forest. It was then when I discovered that what seemed to be a simple and boring forest actually had a great story. Before it was called Oakwood or Oaks Forest, the place was called Wickwood. The word wick has a huge similarity with witch. Taking into consideration that it is an old name and language changes over time, that indicates that it was the forest of witches. Apparently, more than 400 years ago, the people of the village believed witches lived in the woods. Unfortunately, almost all the information is already lost. There were stories told in voice, without a properly written record. I just know that with the change of religion to Christian, people stopped seeing witches with good eyes and began to hunt them. Apparently, the last one before her death cast a curse on the forest, which even today should continue to exist. Anyway, obviously I cannot accept something like that as the answer. In the end, I have no other choice than accepting that each of them escaped from the village, using the legend of the forest to make it look like it was something supernatural. Interesting story. I didn't know that such a story was hiding in this town, I said, honestly surprised. Even if it is a lie, it managed to hold my interest. Wait, there's something more, Alfred said at the same time he scrolled through the comments. Reread what was written there. A couple of comments caught our attention. Both of them talk about some creature. At that time, they felt a horrible fear for what could have happened to them. While the two comments shared great similarities, but they could have been written by the same person. There are many others that deny it. Looks like many people went to the forest because of the legend but couldn't find anything. I thought that you only read these things to look more cool before the girls, replied Stephen as a joke. Alfred giggles with a little shame. Partly, yes. He admitted it. There was a secret everybody silently knew. Well, now we have an activity for tonight, Stephen said at the same time. He makes a face overflowing with enthusiasm. What? I asked, completely lost. I thought we were just killing time. Simple. Let's go to the forest. Famous last words. Stephen replied without hesitation. He seemed really fascinated by the story. Are you insane? Said Alfred, unable to believe what he had just heard. He only needed to look at his face to know he did not like the idea. But despite everything you've heard, you want to go? Of course, it would be a test of courage among us three, replied Stephen, full of confidence, perhaps too much. He should relax a bit. Don't tell me. You're afraid? No. Why should I be afraid? Answered Alfred. At the same time, he folded his arms, making a false gesture of security. It's more than obvious that you're afraid, Alfred. Almost as much as when you won't have to touch with a girl. And what about you, Axel? Don't tell me you won't come. Suddenly Stephen axes me, at the same time looking at me mockingly. Don't tell me you want to be the chicken of the group. I hate that tone of voice he used. I will never give you that. I said it without thinking, showing a confident smile and look. Well, let's not say more. Take your coats, backpacks, flashlights, and some food. We are going to the forest. Stephen said, full of energy. Yeah. We three said in unison, as if we were going to have some kind of private party, not really knowing what we were doing or what we were going to find. Well, this is great. 2:13 a.m. So this is back to the beginning of the game. I awake completely confused, not knowing how much time had passed. My head hurts like hell, but I can't blame it. Fortunately, the pain goes away quickly, just as my confusion. Soon I come back to my senses. My flashlight is lying on the ground, shining towards the empty air. I immediately pick it up. It was my only protection against the darkness that surrounds me. Then I remember that Stephen and Alfred were with me. Stephen, Alfred, can you hear me? Without thinking, I screamed their names in the dark while trying to find them with my flashlight, but there's no trace of them. They are gone. Where the hell are they? And what the heck just happened? I really don't understand anything. Shit. We should stay at home. This is not a proof of courage. We could be in danger. I have to find them. 2:19 a.m. So about what? 6 minutes later? Little time has passed since I started to look for my friends. I already can't stand this place. I'm going crazy in this forest. The darkness that covers it is unnatural. It is the darkness that steals your own sanity, replacing it with anxiety. To make it worse, the air is damp and cold as in winter, carrying a strong rot smell, as if there were corpses of animals hidden throughout the forest. The atmosphere in this place is oppressive. With every step you take, it makes you more uncomfortable. Since I started to look for my friends, I felt that something is watching me, but there is nothing. I sigh with my voice full of frustration. I just want to get out of here. I continue walking devoid of any hope. No matter where I look or how much I walk, I find nothing. Nor can I even hear the sound of animals. Rather, it seems they are already dead and rotting. No, I have to calm myself. I said to myself. I stopped for a moment to rest. I breathed deeply, but the rotten air of this place does me no good. Immediately I start to cough as if I had something stuck in the throat. What am I going to do? This cursed forest seems endless. And even if by miracle I could escape, I cannot abandon Stephen and Alfred. I'm really screwed up. Again I sigh, feeling on the urge of tears. My frustration is building up, but I have to do my best to keep calm. If I fall into despair, then there is no doubt I will be joining the list of many missing persons. In the end, I decided to keep walking. Step by step, I should get somewhere. At least I was convinced that staying in the same place would not do me any good. Even if it was only to deceive myself, feeling that I am doing something. I wanted to continue walking. Time passes without any changes. Only the sound of my footsteps can be heard, knowing that as soon as you stop, you will be surrounded by dead silence is a good incentive to keep walking. But my legs were already hurting. Suddenly I hear a crack at my feet. Instantly I take a step back and look below to see what made that sound. What is this? I whispered to myself, surprised, discovering that I had stepped on an animal bone. I believe that it's a form, an animal, although I do not rule out the possibility that it belongs to a person. But for my own good, I prefer not to think about it. An expression of anguish is drawn on my face. It is best to ignore it. I have to keep walking. Suddenly my flashlight reveals something. Without hesitation, I point towards there again. What's the white cat? Only to realize, surprised, that this is the white cat. The one from before which made that awful meow, but this time I find it lying on the ground. It appears to be fainted and is wounded. Then what should I do? What do you guys think? What should I do? Ignore the cat or pick her up? I'm lost. I'm gonna give I'm gonna think about this for like 10 seconds. Let me think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna pick her up. It is best to continue without waking her. That cat is dangerous. It's her fault that I ended up in this place and my friends are missing. But even knowing that, I feel some strange reason that I can't help but feel sorry for her. Even if it's unnatural, it is still an animal. I then bend down to see her closer. She is unconscious and there's a thin line of blood coming from her mouth. I'm a real idiot. I said to myself at the same time. I cleaned the blood from her mouth with a handkerchief that I had with me. Fortunately, she doesn't wake up. I then close her mouth while making her appearance a little better. Now she seemed to be peacefully sleeping. Alright, great. That was a good option. After a long sigh, I decided to pick her up carefully. I don't know what the powers of this cat are, but if she brought me here, maybe she can return me to my world. With her in my arms, I decided that the best thing I can do is to continue walking. With her in my arms, I decided that the best thing I can do is to continue walking. Yeah, what? This game sometimes. There we go. Again, I find myself in the dark forest walking aimlessly, only moving forward, but it didn't seem I was getting somewhere. In my arms, I carry the cat, which sleeps soundly. Come here, you'll be safe. I suddenly stopped. It was probably easy to see the disbelief on my face at that moment. It's that voice again. I whispered to myself, with no one to listen to me. Shortly after I found the cat, a mysterious voice appeared in my mind. It is a feminine voice, soft and gentle, as if it belonged to a princess from a fairy tale. But I can't trust it. Am I really going crazy? Or is it this forest that doesn't make any sense? I don't know, but I don't like any of the two options. I then feel the cat move in my arms. I look down at her confused, just to see how she opens her red eyes suddenly. I become quiet at that instant. For a moment, the two stayed motionless, staring into the eyes of the other. The red eyes of the cat are disturbing to me, but also there is something fascinating about them, something that attracts me. I lose myself in her eyes as if hypnotized. until suddenly she jumps with the intention of scratching my face. God, what? You pick up a cat and this is what it does. My reflex is pushing her. At the same time I jump back, turning my head to dodge her claws. I manage to dodge her attack, but in the process I drop my flashlight. I panicked and acted clumsily. The flashlight falls near me, lighting up a tree in the vicinity. As soon as I left my hands, I remember how dense this abnormal darkness is. I quickly pick it up, not even thinking before taking action. I then light the place where the cat was, only to discover that she had arched her body angrily as if she feared an attack from me. Those red eyes stare at me, shining with the light of the flashlight, as if they were jewels reflecting a fearsome hatred and rejection towards me. My body freezes after seeing them. I can't even think. The cat then lets out a thunderous meow, similar to the one before but weaker, although not any less frightening. There is no doubt there is something wrong with that animal. It must be cursed. Everything is her fault. She must be some kind of evil spirit, a pet of the witches. And feel how panic seizes me. My heart beats quickly, begging me to do something. My mouth is dry and my forehead covered with cold sweat. What should I do? Alright. I'm gonna think about this for 10 seconds. Well, yeah, 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I am going to confront. No, I should not despair. I have to calm down and think carefully about what I should do. With that in mind, I take a deep breath and look again at her. Soon the expression in my eyes changes from fear to courage. I realize it's only a cat, without a doubt a strange one, but my life is not actually in danger. That isn't a tiger staring at me, but a simple cat. And apparently only her only power are those weird meows. If she could kill me, she would have already done it. So I rule out that possibility. Her work must be transporting the next victim to this area of the forest so unnatural and shady. After filling my lungs with air, I slowly walk towards the cat. Her meows get louder with every step, but I don't let them scare me. Seeing that I do not turn back, she shyly takes a step back. In my mind, I smiled at the image. The prey is not the hunter. I look at her directly while advancing. Little by little, her meows become weaker, as if she was losing strength. Then I suddenly jump and take her in my hands. She hardly resists at all. Not so tough now, right? You look better like this. She is trembling in my hands. She looks so helpless I almost feel like a villain. But I must not forget all that she has done so far. It's her fault that I'm in this place. She brought me here. Then if I kill her, would it be possible to go back? For a moment, that grim idea crossed my mind. I have never killed an animal. Truth is that I can't be proud of myself in doing such a thing. But if I do, maybe this legend could end here. And now. Then what should I do? Oh my god, what? Kill her or keep her captured? Kill her or keep her captured? Oh, this is... wow. Let me think. I'm gonna think about this for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Keep her captured. It is only logical that the magic should die along with the cat. That should be my ticket back. If I kill her, everything will be over tonight, and the legend will come to an end. Confident that if it was the best, I tried to view it in my mind. But no matter how hard I force myself to see it, in the end, I am unable to take the life of another living being. Even if it's cursed, a cat serving a witch, I don't feel good killing her. I think I'm too nice for my own good. So the only thing that remains is to keep her with me, hoping that sooner or later she allows me to escape. With nothing more to think about, I decide the best thing to do is to continue my path. Man, killing a cat just because you're scared? That seems so wrong. (2:45, 2:41 a.m.) It's been a few minutes since I captured that cat. Again, I found myself walking with her in my arms, led by the strange voice. How long have I been walking in this forest? Apparently not enough to make me go mad, but it should be close. Don't be afraid, come with me, I will help you. The voice sounds closer this time. It seems that I'm going in the right direction. I don't fully trust it, but it's the best I have. At least at first glance, it seems a friendly voice. I am completely focused on my way when I suddenly feel something bite me. Ark, what the heck? I shout in pain, realizing that the cat bit my arm. Fortunately, it wasn't a dangerous bite, but it sure was painful. With my distraction, she takes the chance to jump from my arms, falling a few steps from me. Quickly, I set my gaze upon her furious, but soon something happens that makes me forget about my anger. Suddenly, the cat is covered with bright light. I knew it, so much that it repels the unnatural darkness surrounding the forest, stealing my breath. Under the light, its figure gradually changes until it ceases to be a cat and becomes a human figure. I knew it! I knew it! I didn't expect that though. No longer is there a cat in front of me, but a girl with incredible beauty. I must really be going crazy. Yeah. She has white hair and red eyes. She seems about my age. In other circumstances, I would have asked her out without hesitation. Just thinking about it makes me laugh to myself in my mind. Even at the edge of madness, it seems some things about me will never change. She approaches slowly towards me, one step at a time, with no fear. The girl then stares into my eyes with a slightly irritated face. Her lips are moving. She seems to be saying something, but I am unable to hear a sound. Are you trying to tell me something? I babble, still confused, with a face of with a face of disbelief, which surely made me look stupid. Said the girl with a very low voice. I do not understand what she is saying. What? I can't hear you well. I asked, still confused. Suddenly the girl pouts in a bad mood. What's wrong with you? Are you deaf? Finally, I could hear her clearly, and just in time because it seems her patience was about to end. Okay, now I heard you, I said, annoyed. All of my astonishment from just a few seconds ago disappears when I see the arrogant attitude of the girl. At least now I don't think she will bite me, I hope. The girl then snorts with irritation. What an annoying guy I had to find, she said at the time. She places a hand on her lips, making a passive face. Wait, you shouldn't speak ill of someone you have right before you, I was quick to respond. For a moment, I feel annoyed at the thought that I have to teach manners to this spirit, or whatever she is. A pity so much beauty wasted on someone so arrogant. God damn, man. A girl let out a snort of annoyances after hearing me. Sorry, it's a bad habit that I can't quit. Oh, okay. She answered while sounding very repentant, clearly a false apology. After talking, she diverts her gaze towards the surroundings as she is bored. I see, I replied, annoyed. I just met her, and I already feel like I don't like her. But anyway, that doesn't matter. I must not forget who this girl is. She was the cat that started it all. Anyway, at least could you tell me why you attacked me and my friends? I asked shortly after, acting more serious. The greetings were over. It's time to get to the important stuff. And why did you bite me if I wasn't doing anything? Before I knew it, my lips moved with asking another question. I cannot lie, I was angry. The girl then stares at my face. She blinks with curiosity before speaking. Does it hurt? The wound? She asked innocently. Yes. I was quick to respond with annoyance. I didn't need to say more. Of course it hurts me, silly cat. She looks at me in silence for a few seconds until suddenly she approaches me without any shyness or fear. On second thought, how could a simple human such as me scare a cat that can turn into a person? Show me your wound, said the girl when she stood right next to me. Her presence makes me nervous. This girl seemed to not know what personal space is. As embarrassing as it sounds, I never had a girl this close. If only it wasn't in this forest. I don't know why. I shouldn't trust her, but strangely, something tells me that she has no bad intentions. The girl is surrounded by a calm aura, something pure, unlike anything else in the forest. In the end, resigning myself with a sigh, I show her my arm with a bite. Immediately the girl sets her sight on my wound. It will only take a moment, she said with a complete confidence. Then she looks up into my eyes. Then she looks up into my eyes up. Oh, that's a typo right there. She looks into my eyes. Could you close your eyes? Oh, she's in. Oh well. She acts as she blushes slightly. I am surprised to see that embarrassed face she has, even if just a little. Then I sigh, feeling something wasn't right, but there is nothing else I can do. Okay, I said, doing as she asked. I didn't know what to expect. For a moment, I thought she would get naked or something like that. Oh my god, guy, come on. This is a forest. But what kind of magic can work only when you have no clothes? I don't know, but my mind sure wanted to imagine that. Come on, Axel, keep your composure, alright? Suddenly, I feel something warm and wet touch my wound. Immediately, I shudder. Wait, what are you doing? It's a stupid question because I knew well what she was doing. She was licking my wound. You idiot, who said you could watch? She was quick to respond to Cat. With her cheeks red in embarrassment and her lips still close to my wound, she looked adorably troubled. Don't you see that I'm just trying to heal you? She then added in a bad mood. Sorry, I said, blushing. I thought you would do something more extraordinary. Now I'm not sure. Is she a girl who can transform into a cat, or a cat that can become a girl? Sorry to disappoint you, not being extraordinary enough. God! I murmured the girl at the same time she gives me an annoyed look. Red eyes shining with disgust. It is then that I realized that the pain had disappeared. With curiosity, I looked where the wound was, only to discover that now there is no trace of it. For a couple of seconds, I stay silent, incredulous. It seems that your treatment worked. Thank you. I finally said grateful, still looking at the spot. But of course, I have experience healing myself. Answered the girl, closing her eyes, inflating her chest to show her pride. I actually appreciate what she did, but I still wonder if she really had to lick it to cure me. I understand, but who are you? The girl makes a small snort with curiosity after hearing my question. Then she tilts her head and closes her eyes, making a thoughtful face. It seems I have not presented myself. Nope, you just became a cat. No, you became a cat, then became a girl, then started licking me. I don't know your name. This still says girl right here. It seems I have not presented myself. She opens her eyes and gazes into mine. My name is Ashley. Okay. So that's her name. I expected something more extravagant. Yeah, me too. Something like... something. My name is Axel. By the way, have you ever been accused of witchcraft? How do you open up with that? What? Before I knew I asked that question. I guess it was rather rude for me, completely lacking in manners. But I must not forget for even a second that I am in this cursed forest. Ashley suddenly becomes silent. At plain sight, it was obvious she didn't take it well. She takes her time before responding. Yes, but that was a long time ago. Then she closes her eyes and exhales, emptying her lungs. She seems to be recalling something painful. Just seeing her made me feel guilty. I'm sorry. It was not my intention to make you remember it. I said, slightly remorseful. No doubt, to be accused of witchcraft must have been a horrible experience. Ashley closes her eyes and nods a couple of times. It's okay. It's not like I can blame your curiosity, seeing where we are. Then she looks at me closely with curious eyes. By the way, how do you know about me? Perhaps you are a sorcerer who has lived during these past centuries? She asked, narrowing her eyes as if she was trying to see this inside of my mind. What kind of question is that? No, nothing like that, I answered at the moment. I'm just an ordinary person. Yeah. I admitted boring, but she didn't need to know that. Oh, we couldn't sue, man. It's just that there are stories about witches in this forest. but as you can see, the stories are not very convincing, or else I wouldn't be here. I explained, trying to remove any doubt that Ashley may have. Again, she closes her eyes and nods. I understand. She pauses and looks me in the eyes. It's because of those stupid myths that stupid humans come to this forest just like you. Wow. She then said, looking at me with rejection. Wait, what are you trying to say? We are to blame? I replied, feeling offended. Yeah, I'm offended too. Ashley suddenly looks at me disgusted. Are you an idiot? Yes. If you hadn't come, my existence would be nice and peaceful, instead of this chaos that is every year. She said, ending with a sigh of frustration. But you're the one who causes all this. I was quick to respond. I don't even bother to hide my anger. I can't believe what she says. How arrogant can she be? Ashley opens her eyes, wide, surprised. Then she looks at me with annoyance in her red eyes. Do you not understand, stupid human? Definitely, I don't like this girl. I'm only trying to protect you. Her words take me by surprise. Huh? I exclaimed incredulously. You attacked me and attacked my friends, only to protect us? Yes, she simply replied. At the same time, she nods, filled with pride and confidence. Okay, that's it. I'm getting out of here. Hey, but where? I cannot believe how arrogant and self-centered this girl is. After everything she did to me and my friends, I can't stand her any longer. Wait! I have only taken a few steps when I heard her calling me. She sounds really worried. You don't understand the real danger in here. I stop in my tracks as soon as I hear her. Real danger? I whispered, feeling some doubts. Suddenly I shivered. It doesn't look like she's lying. Yes. I tried to chase them away using illusions. Other times I hit them with my powers. And as a last resort, I skipped them directly, as it was in your case. Ashley confessed, blushing a little, as if she felt embarrassed with remembering. And why do you do that? I asked, confused. Something isn't right here. Ashley stares at me with her red eyes. If they continue with their curiosity, they will meet an evil entity that will take their lives. What you say doesn't sound very convincing, I immediately interrupted. The only evil entity here is you. She just saved you. What? Dude, she licked your wound. Ashley shakes her head in denial. You're wrong. I am the good one. Then she said, looking into my eyes with pure innocence in hers. Ha 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 ha. I could only laugh at that comment. It had to be a joke. After doing all that you say you're good? Don't laugh. I'm only trying to protect you. Yeah, Axel, replied Ashley, furious while waving her arms. She then crosses her arms and gives me an unpleased look. Do you expect me to believe that? I replied sarcastically. What she said made no sense, but somehow she seemed oddly convinced it was the truth. She was surely a bit wrong in the head. But it is true. You have to believe me. This time she sounds really worried about me. I actually feel a little sorry for her. Ashley then stays silent, looking at me with puppy eyes. However, she soon recovers her proud attitude. If you want, hold my hand. I won't harm you. She suddenly says. I look carefully at her. She has a very arrogant face, as if it was a great honor to be able to touch her. You won't do anything strange? I asked, distrustful, but after seeing her again, I do not think she was lying. Ashley nods, full of confidence. I promise you. I stare at her for a few seconds, making sure there isn't a trap. Okay, but why do you want me to hold your hand? I ask at the same time I extend my hand. Ashley opens her eyes, surprised at hearing my question. Then she stares at me with annoyance. Are you stupid? Obviously to guide you out of the forest. She said, just as she takes my hand in one quick move. I then find myself being dragged by the strange girl. But this is the opposite way from where the melodious voice comes. I said, looking back for a second. I felt really curious about who she was. You ignore that voice. It charms men to make them her victims. Oh, okay. Think of it as a siren. Ashley explained in bad mood, with her eyes always looking to the front. It seems she didn't get along well with whoever that person or entity was. Wouldn't you be the one who collects souls or fools? I asked without thinking. I seriously need more experience with dealing with a girl. I think she's a witch, though, honestly. If only I were more popular. I don't think that's your problem. Ashley stopped suddenly. She then turns at me, showing me a furious face. You idiot. I already said I'm the good one. For a moment, I thought she was going to hit me on the head. But fortunately, she stopped before doing so, or biting me again. Okay, okay, I meekly responded, as if I were a spoiled child. But if you eat me, I will make sure to give you the worst indigestion in your life. You idiot, I don't eat humans, replied Ashley, ending with an arrogant snort. 3:11 a.m. Wonder what's gonna happen now. Several minutes had passed since I started to walk hand in hand with Ashley. At the beginning, I did not trust her at all, but the more time passed, the easier it was to believe her. I hadn't noticed before how comfortable her hand is, soft and pleasant to the touch. I blushed just thinking about it. Even if she is a witch, she's a girl too, right? Then I sighed. Come on, Axel. Composure. Composure. With every step, the curse of the forest seemed to weaken. The atmosphere was less oppressive every minute until, finally, I was able to forget about that unpleasant feeling. Before I noticed, the darkness had returned to normal, feeling only empty. The rotten smell also had disappeared without a trace. Now, I could really say I was in a common and ordinary forest, even boring. But I could not be more grateful for that. Just a little more to get out. So let's keep moving. Then, I set my sight on the back of Ashley, watching her walk in silence. Wait, what? Then I set my sight on the back of Ashley, watching her walk in silence. She was completely focused on that simple thing. If you're the witch from the legend, why are you helping me? I suddenly asked, not thinking twice before it. I was really intrigued by that. Ashley stops and turns, looking at me with an angry face. Idiot! Do you really think that all witches are evil? She was right. The general image of witches is not good, but it's not as if stereotypes were truthful. Yeah, come on. Then she closes her eyes, making an annoyed face. It's true that I had supernatural powers, but I never used them to do harm. As she lowers her sight and pauses, suddenly she looks sad. My only sin was to be born in the time of the witch hunt. That's why I was condemned. That explains it well. I feel that I can trust her. I could trust she is good. But there's still one more question. And how did you end up becoming a cat? Yeah, that was my first question too. Ashley immediately blushes. She was so embarrassed that it was almost adorable. Almost. You mean it is adorable? Gotta correct yourself. Well, before my execution, there was a cat watching in the distance. So I decided to transfer my soul to it. Oh, okay, she explained, avoiding looking into my eyes. Of course, we now share the body. We have like a deal. Okay. The cat will be happy as long as it has something to eat and a place to eat. Oh, wait, as long as it has something to eat and a place to sleep. I tried to provide her with all those needs. And in return, she lets me stay in her body. Okay. As she talks, she is blushing shyly. Yeah, why are you blushing? I see. I think it's a fair deal, I replied with a sincere smile. The truth is that I found it a little funny. It turns out that she is both a girl and a cat. That answers some questions. So there's two souls in this one body. One is a girl, and one is this cat. Okay. Ashley closes her eyes and nods a couple of times. When she wants to, she can be very cute. Too bad that happens so rarely. Not saying more, Ashley continues walking to the exit. This time, I stay in silence. All that remains for me is to escape from that place, or from this place. 3:15 a.m. It's been like an hour, I think. Well, here we are, Ashley said just a few minutes after we talked. She is in line. I can see the end of the forest in the distance. I had to contain my desire to scream with joy at that moment. There must be two other humans close here, your friends. Go with them and return home, and I hope that nobody else comes tonight. Ashley said, giving me a subtle farewell, but strangely, she does not let go of my hand. She looks deep into my eyes. Amazed, I noticed the gentleness that reflects on them. Can you make me a promise? She suddenly said with an honest voice. It was no joke. What is it? I asked, full of curiosity. I don't know what I could do for a witch, but after helping me to escape, I think that she deserves me to hear her request. End this legend. She then murmured with an air of sadness. I can't understand why she asked for something like this. I want you to help me to keep people away. The legend only attracts more people, as in your case. I need to kill it, replacing the supernatural danger with a human danger. A human danger? So you want to scare them with ordinary dangers as thieves or ferocious animals? On second thought, there is logic in what you asked. If you remove the element of magic and only leave the danger, then exploring the forest is not worth the risk. Ashley nods and then looks into my eyes, blushing. Yes, exactly, she said, pleased. Okay, I'll do it. You can rely on me. How to do it, I wonder. I responded with determination. I wanted her to know how serious I was. That it was not that it was not a promise I would forget as soon as I got out of the forest. Ah, thank you. Then she closes her eyes momentarily and inflates her chest with pride. You aren't as stupid as I thought. I should have expected something like that. Hey, I told you not to talk ill of someone when they're in front of you. I complained angrily. This girl, simply will never change. Yep. After seeing my reaction, Ashley cannot help but laugh. I'm sorry. It's the first time I've seen her so happy. That made me blush. Ashley looked unexpectedly adorable at that moment. My heart was nervously beating as if I was with a normal girl. Suddenly she stares at me and gets so close her face is less than an inch from mine. Again, she demonstrates not knowing what personal space is. But this time, I don't know whether to be angry or thankful. Having her so close, a beautiful girl, makes me very nervous. This is the farewell, she suddenly said. She then brings her lips to my cheek and gives me a tender kiss. What? Everything becomes white at that moment. Everything loses its color. Everything is gone. Everything. Everything. 3:18 a.m. I'm outside the forest. I have no idea of how I made it here, but this is no illusion. I am bewildered, as if I had been sleepwalking. Axel! Axel! Suddenly, I hear someone calling my name. But it's not any strange voice. It's the voices of my friends who are looking for me. Hey! Over here! I shout without a second of hesitation, with a bit of clumsiness because of my confusion. Soon they found me, and impatiently ran towards me. Where were you? The worry was killing us, Steven said with a face that I don't remember having never seen before. Before answering, I rubbed my forehead. Within the forest, I couldn't find the exit. Alfred was about to say something, but before that, I interrupted him. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I was just lost. The important thing is that we are all safe. Yes, you're right. Hey, don't you feel that we are forgetting something? Alfred murmured. At the same time, he lowers his sight, pensive. Suddenly, a blurry image appears in my mind. It was white and bright, but I can't remember more. However, that weak memory awakens a strange feeling of nostalgia in me. It was as if I had lost something. But what could it be? Anyway, we should go home. This has gone too far for a test of courage, I said, with no intention of spending one more minute in this forest. They both agree with me. With nothing else to say, you can only return home. By the way, guys, we should write on that page to not go to the forest. Forget about the witches. Somebody might get lost there as it happened to me. It was a miracle that I came out alive with that beast looking around. Before knowing it, my lips move. Why did I say that? I have no idea, but something inside me inspired me to do so. To be honest, I have no memory of the beast I speak of. All I can remember is that it has red eyes and white fur, but nothing more. Then I remember something. I think it was a promise I made to... Wait? To whom had I made that promise? I think about it for a moment in silence, but in the end, I can't remember a thing. No matter. All I know is that I got out, and I'll never come back here again. Wait, that's it? What? Really? What? That's the end? No, that's not the end, really? No. I want some more romance. Give me the romance. How many endings are there? The Forgotten Adventure. Alright, I think there's a... Alright. I'm gonna come back to this game, and I want some romance between this cat and Axel. Between Ashley and Axel. And maybe the cat. Which... Wait. If the cat is inside... No, if Ashley is inside the cat's body, that means that the cat is still there. So that means if Axel were to have engaged in a romance with Ashley, he will have also engaged with a romance with the cat. Which seems very weird. But it's my mission to find out if that happens. So if you guys will join me next time, I'll be playing this game again and unlocking the other endings too. Thank you for anybody who's watching. Leave a like, subscribe for more, and I'll see you later.